Melanie.
And I'm Michael.
And welcome to Uplift Stitches. We are a married couple, and this channel is a place where we talk about mostly cross-stitching, but also board games and other things to make our hearts happy.
Yeah. Today is April 6th?
Yeah, Sunday, April 6th, 2025.
And this is Flosstube number 20.
Ooh, 20.
20. It's getting up there.
Yeah.
So if you're new here, welcome.
Yeah, we're so glad that you're here. We got a little bump in subscribers this past month, so if you're new to our little group, welcome so much, and we're so grateful for that.
Yeah. I guess we might have got a bump from your trip, because you might have met some of these.
I met some people in person, and also
fun.
Our friend Andrew, the runner stitcher, gave us a very lovely shout out.
Yeah, that was very nice.
Which brought a lot of subscribers. Thank you so much for that.
But if you just wandered here, we hope you enjoy what you'll see here today.
Yeah, if it's your first time, welcome. If it's your 20th time, also welcome.
Yes.
It's so nice to see you again. We hope that you've been well since the last time we saw you.
Yeah. So if you are new here, so a few things about the channel. Usually we start the channel just talking a little bit about what we did over the last month.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not that's interesting or not, I don't know. But that's usually start, and then we usually move right into the cross stitch after that.
Yeah, I do have chapters set up, so if you're not interested in something, or you need to pause and come back and trying to remember where you are, hopefully that'll help you out.
Yeah. So and then if you want, you could always skip ahead to the game section, but that's usually smaller. Usually smaller, not always.
I think today that's going to be our shortest section.
Yeah, that'll be our shortest section, because we have a pretty big. We have fair warning. We have a pretty big haul section.
There's a lot of purchases that were made in March.
Yes, and the reason for that will be very clear when we talk about what we did over the last month.
Yeah.
So if you're not into haul, you feel free to skip that section as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of it today.
But I guess that's about it as far as setup and that. So
yeah, we hope that you're well. We hope that you've had the best month that you could,
and we hope you find some uplifting thoughts here today. So so over the last month, what did we do?
We had a busy month.
I think we had a pretty busy month.
Yeah, so last time when we were here, we had just spent the weekend with my parents, celebrating my birthday.
Celebrating your birthday.
And then that week, we celebrated my birthday.
Because it was actually during that week. So,
yeah. Michael's got some vacation days he needs to use, so he took off.
I took off her birthday.
For my birthday.
So we went out and had
we took his mom out to lunch, and then we took a little trip to Color and Cotton, which is our local needlework store.
And got a few things.
We bought a few things.
Which you'll see some of that. So I do have some hauls with my new project, so yeah. I forgot all about that. But that was
it was a really lovely birthday, and thank you so much to all of you who left such kind warm birthday wishes on our last Flosstube video, and also on Instagram. I had made a post about the fun things that we did on my birthday, and so many of you left such kind warm, generous birthday wishes to me, and thank you so much. That just meant the world to me.
Yeah, and I finally joined Instagram.
Yes.
After I don't know how long. I'm still learning how to take good pictures and post and stuff, but
hey, you're doing it, man.
I'm starting. Just gotta start somewhere, right? Yeah. I've not really been a big social media person, so this is venturing out into uncharted territory for me.
Yeah.
But after that, we also had a game day with our friends.
Our friends came over and we played games all day.
Had good food and games all day. What more could you ask for? Right?
I know. And our friends made me a birthday cake.
They did.
Michael had made me a birthday cake when my parents were here, and it was very good.
But this one was
But they made me a chocolate orange cake. It was so...
With candied orange peel.
It was so decadent. It was so good. Yeah. Like, you could only eat the tiniest slice. It was so good.
It was very rich, but it was so good.
Yeah.
So thank you, friends, if you watch. I don't know that you watch, but if you do. But it was wonderful.
Yeah,
so that
was delicious.
It was a great birthday celebration.
It was a great week.
Yeah. So, but we also had some other fun towards the end of the month, because we got together on Zoom with Karen, our friend Karen.
Oh yes, last weekend we had a little Zoom get together with our friend Karen, the Stitching Owl. When I showed my plans this last month, there was a piece that I showed that she said, "Oh, I have something by that same designer. I would like to start that in celebration of you for your birthday." So I said, "That sounds like fun. Let's do that together."
Yeah, we had a nice little visit, just zooming, stitching, and
So Karen and I had a start, and Michael, I think, worked on something else.
I worked on something
but it was just nice to spend that time together visiting.
Yeah. It was a great Sunday. We had a good morning visiting with her. So. And And then I guess we just recently celebrated my mom's birthday, who was
yesterday we went and celebrated Michael's mom's birthday, which was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. We took her out to this restaurant she likes to go to, usually once a year.
I think we went for her birthday last year.
We did.
It was the last time
it's
we
this
went.
place called Whitman's. It's like an old time type of a restaurant because it was established in like 1860 something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's been there a long time, and we take this ferry across the river to go get there.
Yeah, we gotta take a ferry across the Mississippi River, and then it's in this farming community. So of course, right now everything is just starting to bloom and grow. So it was just a really lovely drive.
Yeah,
and then they've got a family style meal.
Yeah, family style meal with really all you can eat. And all kinds of good. There was fried chicken and all kinds of good food. So it was good. Mom had a great time. So
yeah, then we went back to her house and we visited for a while and had some strawberry shortcake for dessert.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a great day. We had a great time with it. So, but I think that's really the last thing.
Yeah. So Michael got together with friends.
I got together with some old work friends. We usually do that once a month because they no longer work where I work. They work somewhere else, but we still get together to kind of visit and catch up. So
you had a really busy, I feel like, work month
I had a busy work month, and then my class I'm taking has kept me busy, though that's almost finished.
Yeah, if you're new here, Michael's working toward his EDD.
Yeah, so it's keeping me busy. Haven't been able to read as many things as I'd like to read because I've been reading all the research stuff for that class.
Yeah, your class has been really research heavy, but that's going to be good for when you work on your dissertation.
Yeah, I'm trying to get stuff ahead on that as well. So it was a busy month, but we had a good month, I think.
Yeah. Michael did some work in our yard.
I did do some work in our yard. Did some weeding, spring weeding, and cut the grass. Yay!
The first time. The first time of the season.
It's not bad cutting the grass at the beginning of the season. It's usually by mid to the end of summer where I'm like, I just want it to be over.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad. It's been cooler in the 50s and 60s, which is kind of the temperatures I like more. So I'm enjoying the weather still. But, we've had a lot of rain lately, though.
So much rain and storms. There were a couple times we had to go to the basement.
Yeah, I mean,
but thankfully
there was
nothing
tornadoes
close
this month, right?
by to us. Yeah, the St. Louis area got hit with a bunch of hail and tornadoes. Thankfully, none of it affected us.
But it did affect your parents.
Yeah, some of our family members were hit by the hail and some wind damage, but everyone's okay.
Everyone's okay. That's the important thing. But yeah, it was a little bit of a rough month weather-wise this month.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are also not having weather like we had because it was not the most pleasant weather at times. Some of it's been really nice, but some of it's been rather avoided.
It's sort of that dangerous time of spring when the weather's all
crazy because it doesn't know if it wants to be winter or spring or summer.
Yeah, spring is here though.
Spring is definitely here. Our trees aren't quite leaving. I'm starting to see a little bit of buds on some of the big trees behind us.
And as I said, all of the flowering trees are
they're all
right now.
They're all blooming. We got a little flowering bush over here that's blooming, so it's pretty.
Yeah. The other big thing that I did this past month is I took a little road trip with my mom. When my parents were here for my birthday, my mom said, we should go to Keepsake sometime. And I sort of thought she was joking.
And then she said, next week, let's go to Keepsakes.
No, we had other conversations.
I had a few, but not many.
During the month. And then the week before, we were like, okay, next week is the week.
Yes.
So my mom and I drove to Keepsakes in Ohio. And we just had a wonderful time there.
You got to meet Steph.
We met Steph, of course. She was the first person to greet us. She was so warm and welcoming and just set the tone for the fun that we had there. We had a lovely time. Of course, we
had a little bit of haul from
bought
there.
Some things. And then on our way back, we sort of hit some more needlework shops. We hit Mystic Fabrics in Indiana. And then we hit Cranberry Bog Cottage also on the way home.
Yeah, and you met some nice people there too.
We met just wonderful people. This is such a great hobby, and it's so fun meeting other people who love stitching as much as we do. My mom, it was such a nice opportunity to be able to have that time with her. 3 days of driving and shopping and eating delicious food and visiting. It was really nice.
And lots of haul coming home because she came in with like 3 bags. I'm like, okay, well.
He told me that he had already paid off
Yep.
what I spent.
I have already paid off what you spent, so
when I was driving home, so
it's.
he knew what I did.
I told her, there's not really a limit. Just, you don't go on this trip that often, so
Yeah.
get what you want, and it's paid off. So
yeah. We did have to cut our trip a little bit short. The other shop we were going to hit was Persnickety, and if we had time, we were going to go to Clarence Cotton. But there were some heavy storms that were coming, so we kind of cut our trip a little bit short so that we could
it delayed
get home, because as soon as we got to my parents' house,
it poured.
It was like maybe 20 minutes after that, we had to go to the basement at their house. So
it didn't get quite as strong up here where we are now, but down by your parents, it was a lot stronger. So.
Yeah, thankfully everything was fine. It didn't look like there was any extra problems in their neighborhood. But
no, and you got home safely, so
I did later that night.
Yeah, it was strange without her being here, I have to say, because I work from home, so it was like quiet every day. I mean, I played games and watched some movies that Melanie doesn't really like that much, so it was I was okay, but still missed her. She's still recovering her energy from the trip.
I am, because it's just more extroverting than I'm used to, and then
you
celebrating with my ghost family yesterday, and I'm ready for a day of rest. Which maybe will come tomorrow.
Yeah. So I think that's all life stuff we have, right? So I usually start with, I think, fully finished, but I don't think we have any fully finished.
I have two.
Oh, you have two?
I have two.
Okay, well, there you go. That's news to me.
And they're not just fully finishes, they're starts,
finishes, and fully finishes.
Yeah.
Just the whole spectrum.
All of it. I did all of it in the month. The first one...
I'm excited.
...is a freebie pattern. So I've been joining Jacinta, our friend Jacinta, at Crafting on the Plains. She's doing a year of freebie sale where she's picking a different freebie to do each month. And she's just encouraging people to use the freebies that we have, because I'm sure that all of us have some either saved somewhere or printed out somewhere. Yeah. So I've been trying to do some of those. So there were some things that happened, and I thought, there's a pattern that I had downloaded, I think 3 years ago, that I never got to, and maybe now is the time to do that. So I did, and that is this piece called Mir, a freebie for Ukraine. Mir is the word for peace in Ukrainian. This is a pattern that was designed by Jacob of Modern Folk Embroidery, and I used his called for colors, and I stitched this on a 32 count pastel lilac by Zweigart. It's really it's almost kind of a grayish white. The only thing that I omitted was there's a thick border that went all the way around the pattern, and I just left that off and ended it with this kind of floral pattern.
It looks great, though. No, it's just the floral pattern.
Yeah, and then I made it into a little pillow. So I had some bright blue and yellow fabrics that I put, and I kind of did the finish where I cut a hole in the back to stuff it instead of leaving part of the seam open. And yeah, so now I have this that I can put somewhere just to remind me to pray for peace and try to bring about peace as much as I can in the world. So that is that.
We definitely need peace in this world, that's for sure.
The other piece that I started, finished and fully finished, is Spring Awakens by Brenda Gervais. This is a piece that I decided to start on the first day of spring, and I was enjoying it so much I just couldn't put it down. And this is how it turned out.
Oh yeah, I do remember you stitched on that one a lot.
Yeah. So this I stitched with most of the called for colors. I think there were a few, I think I had most of them, but there were a few I had to substitute. I just kind of picked colors that I thought worked. I think most notably the color of the flowers on the outside border was different. And I think the medium bluish color in the overalls. But I just enjoyed this so much. I love these little bunnies and their little robin in a basket. Yeah, I stitched this on 28 count Friendship Greene by Fabrics by Stephanie. And yeah, I just love it. So I made it a little pillow. I used this kind of bright pink fabric on the back. I would like to find, I didn't have any sort of trims that went with these colors. So if I can find some trim, I'll add that to it. But for now, I'm happy with it being like this until then. So that was my second
fully finished object.
Start and fully finished object.
FFO.
Yeah.
for shorthand.
I also had just a regular finish.
I had a finish too, so.
My finish is the Little House Needleworks Courage. This is the last one in this series that I had left to do. There are 12 of these.
And now there are 12 finished.
Yeah, and I decided to bring this on my trip with my mom because I've stitched on some of these as travel pieces in the past, and it worked really well. So I brought it on the trip with my mom, and I finished it when I got home. And that's how it turned out.
That's super cute.
Yeah. I stitched this with most of the called for threads. The only color that I've changed in all of these is the sheep color. I changed it to 3865, so it's a little bit brighter on my fabric. I stitched all of these on 32 count Wren by Picture This Plus. And now I'm done with all 12 of these, so I can figure out how I want to fully finish them. I do have, there's a longer piece with a sheep in the meadow when it talks about them singing, and I may also stitch that and then incorporate that somehow into however I'm going to finish it. But for now, I'm excited to have all 12 of these finished. I started these in March of 2023.
So they were an older rip.
Yeah. Yeah, so 2 years. And they're done. Wow,
that's exciting.
Yeah. And now I have the fun memory of our trip tied into my stitching on this. So those were my finishes. And you had a very exciting finish.
I had a finish. This is, I think I started this one last fall.
You started on your birthday.
I started on my birthday. Yeah, it's part of the pumpkin birthday sale from Laura from Stitching on the Shore was doing that.
Yeah.
Because my birthday is also that month. I'm like, wow, I have to celebrate. So this is the Festive Frosted Pumpkin Cottage by the Witchy Stitcher. So this is my finish. It is the back stitching is all completed. I finished the actual stitching at the start of spring, and then I finished the back stitching just shortly after that. But, so I did this one on 20 count Desert Night Atomic Ranch fabric. I used all the called fors, DMCs, stitching at 1/1. And this was also part of my I Spy for that Laura does. If you're not familiar, if you're new here, not familiar with that, Laura from Stitching by the Shore does I Spy challenge every month, where it's just like 10 prompts, and you just have to spy those themes or whatever in your different projects you're working on. So this is the one I finished. This one was starts with the letter A and starts with the first letter of my middle name, which is also A. And I used autumn because it's an autumn pattern. I wanted to get this one finished because I was enjoying it, and I'm excited to try to figure out how I want to fully finish this, because I figure this will be a fall/Christmas decoration. So I think it turned out really great. This is a beautiful pattern. I loved it as soon as I saw it. And I believe Andrew, the runner stitcher, is also stitching this.
Yeah, he's stitching his on like a really bright green. It looks so cool.
Yeah. So his looks great on that fabric. So I would definitely check him out if you aren't. I can't imagine you not watching him, but if you're not watching him, you should be watching him, because he's got a really beautiful project of this as well. I think he's getting ready to put it away at the end of this month, or maybe the end of this month, because he was doing it for his temperature stitching. So I really like the way this one turned out. It's a beautiful pattern.
It's so good.
So I was excited to have that. That was my only finish this month, but it took a lot of time to finish it. So
yeah,
I think it took some stitching time away from some of my other projects, but I enjoyed it, so it doesn't matter. So that is all of our fully finishes and our finishes.
Yeah.
And then we can move on to a works in progress.
Well, usually we've been doing starts.
Do we? Oh, yes, we have doing starts. And I have a couple starts too, don't we?
Yes.
Do you have 2 starts as well?
I have 4 starts.
I have 2 starts. So why don't you start, and then I will go after you.
Okay. One of my starts was my birthday day start, and that was In Nature by Blueberry Ridge Designs. I had a few threads that I needed to pick up, so when we went to Color and Cotton on my birthday, I got those so that I could
start it.
Yeah, so I could start the start. And this is how far I've gotten this month.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah. I am stitching this with all the called for over-dyed colors, and I'm stitching it on 36 count Ballet Slipper by My Vintage Needle Arts. It's a really, really light pink. And I'm just loving this. I love how these colors are looking on this fabric, and I'm enjoying the design. I'm having fun doing all of these little, you know, I just move on to the next motif and I kind of work until that's finished and then put it aside for a couple nights and work on other things. And yeah.
I know you've been enjoying that one a lot.
Yeah, I have. These spaces in these two flowers get filled in with Algerian eyelets or, no, Smyrna stitches, I think. Smyrna crosses. So I'm going to wait.
To get some of the other stitching done.
Yeah, because there's still a lot left to go on this pattern. Yeah, but I'm enjoying it. So I'll continue working on this spring some.
Until you decide to put it away whenever. You know.
Yeah, but I love it and I love how it's looking. And I'm excited to work on it some more. Okay, the piles. There's piles. Another thing that I started for my birthday, not on my birthday day, but I think that next week, was Forest Home by the Blue Flower.
I do remember that pattern.
And this is how far I've gotten on that. I'm using all of the called for colors, and I am stitching this on a 20 count Siren Song by Color and Cotton. This was a fabric that I picked up on my birthday when we went there. I just thought it was so cool. It's like a greenish, grayish, bluish.
Yeah, it's kind of like
color. It's more green in person than it is coming up on the screen. Yeah, it definitely has more of a green hue in person. But I just love the way that this is looking on this fabric. So I worked on the waterfall with the bridge and this kind of fern and these mushrooms. And then I came over and started on this, whatever this fluffy tree is. I don't know. We don't have trees like that here.
Some kind of fluffy. I don't know. If you have any idea, thoughts of what that tree is, please give us your thoughts.
But I've really enjoyed stitching on this, and it's been fun working on 20 count Ada for this project. I really like the way that it's looking on here.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
It's a fun project too.
It's great. I love it. I'm so excited to start. I'm trying to carry, I decided after I started going down that I wanted to carry this over so that I could get to this tree with all of the creatures on it. Because I want to do the creature stitching. So I have this mountain to do, and then I'll start working on this probably this month. It's exciting.
It is exciting.
I really like it. I'm excited to
keep stitching.
To keep stitching.
That's the way it should be. You should be excited to keep stitching.
I know. I just love I think I really loved everything that I worked on this month, and that's a good thing.
That's a great thing. That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
So I had a couple starts. So I'm gonna go try. This one is from the Cross Stitch in the Forest book. I opened right to the page.
Hey.
So this is the series of patterns that I've been stitching on. There's no actual pattern here, so I can figure I can show that. I'm doing the one up here. This is the spring pattern. So I'm doing each of them in season. I started this one at the beginning of spring. I think this was my spring one start.
Yeah, you did the winter.
I already did the winter one in winter,
and then you started
the spring
one
in spring. Mm-hmm. So that's the one I'm currently working on, and this is the farthest I've gotten.
Oh.
I thought I would be getting further, but then I think some of my other projects, like the Festive Cottage, took more time than expected. So I got a decent start, but you can see it's the same tree in different seasons, so you can see kind of how the branch is coming in. But I still have a lot of stitching to do on this one. Mm-hmm. But spring still lasts for 3 months, so I should. I should.
You're stitching
I'm stitching this on. Let me see here.
Is it 22?
I actually had the wrong fabric written down. This is actually 22 count black eyed. I'll have to correct that in my notes. Yeah, this is 22 count. It was when I bought it. It said 20 count, but I think the shrinking process or something actually shrunk it, or maybe it was mislabeled. I really don't know, but it's actually 22 count, so it's actually a lot tinier than. This is the smallest count I've ever stitched on most of them.
And in the book, they show it as being done separately, but you've decided to do it all.
I'm going to do it all in one, and then I can kind of display it. I think this will probably go in my office when it's finished. But this is on 22 count, just black Aida with the call fors. So
it's looking good.
It's looking good. I like his patterns a lot. So and then I have one more start. Do you want to do your other starts?
Yeah, I can do my other starts. So as I mentioned, we did do a Zoom with Karen the Stitching Owl, and the pattern that I started that day was from this book, Cross Stitch for the Soul by Emma Congdon. And the designs in here aren't named, so this is technically called like design number 3. But it is Bloom Where You're Planted. Is what I've been thinking of and calling it. Yeah, so this is the piece that I started that day that we Zoomed with Karen. And I worked on it, I think, 2 days, and I got really far, considering I only spent 2 days on it. This is where I am. So I started working on the top border the day that we met with Karen, and then I think the day after we got home from my trip, I worked on this other portion of the border. I think I'm halfway done with the border now, so this is going much faster than I
It's a fast stitch.
anticipated it would. I'm stitching this with all the called for colors on 28 count Celestine by Color and Cotton. It's a very pale blue color, light blue, and I really like how it's looking. I'm excited to work on this more.
I'm glad to hear it.
Do you see a theme in my stitching? I'm excited.
You always love spring
I'm
stuff
excited.
too. So.
I do, and we don't have a lot of spring things.
We don't.
Decoration wise, like we have a lot of Christmas and Halloween, and
we have tons of Halloween and Christmas, especially Halloween.
But this time of year, we don't really have decorations to put out in the house. Like I do have a lot of flower things in here that I've stitched that I could probably put.
You do
in there for spring, but so.
And I don't.
I'm excited to have more.
I honestly don't have a lot of spring patterns. I've realized.
Well, it's not your favorite season.
It's not.
But I love spring.
I like spring, but autumn is still my favorite.
Once again, I'm loving this. Loving every stitch.
Loving every stitch, and we'll be continuing to
love it. So thank you, Karen, for joining me.
Yes, we had a great time. And
yeah. And
we'll have to try to get together again.
Maybe you'll see more next month. The other thing that I started, I'll have to insert a picture of the cover because I'm doing this from a PDF. I like when you do that.
You love when I do that?
Yeah. It is the Lola Crow Stitch Along Extraordinary Bird Cell.
I knew as soon as you said it was birds, you were going to be stitching it.
I told you all last month. As soon as I saw it was birds, I knew I was in trouble.
Yeah, she can't not stitch it.
I can't. I just can't. And then she started giving little
glimpses.
Little glimpses of the birds, and they're just too good. I need to stitch them. So I started this on Friday, was when it appeared in the universe as a pattern.
And that's when she got it.
And this is how far I am. So I worked on this 2 nights. I worked on it Friday and Saturday night.
And there'll be lots more working
on it. It's so good. So I started at the very top of the aviary, and I kind of started working on carrying down on the structure. So the first release of the pattern is just the structure. I think there's 2 birds and some ground. So there's a lot of stitching on this. This was 2 nights. It'll probably take me another week, I think, to finish it of stitching.
It's a lot of stitching.
It's a lot of stitching, but
it'll be worth it every stitch.
It's going to be good. It's going to be so good. I'm stitching this with the called for threads. 2/2 on a 28 count Alchemy by Picture This Plus. It took me a while to figure out what fabric I wanted to use, but I wanted to use something where I could use 2 strands. The designer had recommended like a 36 count, but I typically stitch with 1 strand on 36 count. So I thought either 32 or 28. And looking at my fabrics of that size, I thought that this would look the best. Because she said something gray or blue or green would look good, or brown.
This looks really good.
This is like a very grayish blue.
A grayish blue. That's a good way of describing it.
Yeah. And I think I figured it out so that the bottom of the structure will be where this dark splotch is on the fabric. I'm hoping I did the math right. If not, it's not going to take up this whole fat quarter. But I do think it's going to come down to like here.
We have a little extra space then for other projects.
Yeah, I'll have some usable fabric left over, but
I know you're not the only ones doing that one either.
And I'm excited to continue working on that, and start getting those 2 birds and those first 2 birds.
Yes. So my other start, I only had 2 starts this month, but this one was a pattern I've been I've had this one
You've
for a
been
while.
talking about this.
I've talked to this from us. We didn't get to color and cotton so that I could do my conversion all the way.
Yeah, we went on my birthday.
So this is camping lantern. So I'm sure you can kind of. I know that a few other people have done this one. I know the camping stitcher did this one. There's a couple other people I know that did this one. But I was converting it because I wanted to do it on black fabric, and so
you had a vision.
I had a vision.
You just needed to be in front of the color and cotton floss wall.
Yes, which we
to let your vision come.
Because I had ideas of like a family colors for different areas that I wanted to use, and our birthday visit that we took allowed me to get the floss I needed. So, so this is my start. This is on 20 count. This is 2 of the colors that I'm using. I'll show those in a second. But obviously I'm not using the called for fabrics or the call for floss. But I think it's looking good already. This is the first tree, and then that's the start of the lantern there. And this is on, let me see, what is the count?
This is a 20 count.
I think this is a 20 count. Yeah, this is a 20 count. The pattern is by Erin Elizabeth Designs, and I converted this with color and cottons. This is also the something that's golden, because there's some golden light from the fireflies in this pattern. They haven't got to yet, but so that is where I got to after I finally got in. This is my floss from project. So my palette. I think it's gonna look really good. But if you are curious what all these colors are, I mean, I've got. Should I go through?
Go through.
I'll go through them.
Tell our friends.
So this one is banana. I had that one. Actually, did have that one I bought for another project. Possibly, I didn't end up using it. And then I got snowflake, which is like the white in the pattern.
It's a nice bright white.
It's a nice bright white. And I've got candlelight. This has got some variegation to it. That's going to be part of the fire. And then I've also got bubbly, which they're pretty nice colors. I think that's also part of the fire as well. And then carving pumpkin, which I had bought for with that. And then I think this is the one I borrowed from you, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't quite have
He needed some brown.
I needed like a brown.
I said, well, I have a couple.
This is a really nice variegated brown from Color and Cotton. Celestine, this is actually going to be the mountains. It's kind of like a blue-white variegation. And then I've got the other part of the fire, which is orange soda. So it's also got some good variegation to it. Driftwood. I think that's the tent, if I remember correctly. And this is one I've already started. This is the tree color. This is bobbins. And then I've got boxwood, which is the lantern itself. So I've really been enjoying. I've been looking forward to this one when I finally got to get up there and actually get the flosses.
I think you did a happy dance.
I did. I was excited because it's like I had a vision. I just needed to go to that floss. The floss. If you've not been to Color and Cotton, is just this huge, beautiful floss wall that you should definitely see at least once in your life. So that was my start. I've really enjoyed stitching, and I'll be stitching on that this month as well.
Yeah.
Like Melanie says, I've been enjoying every stitch of all the projects I've been working on too. So but that is all my starts for the month. So now we have all of our whips.
Yes, I have 5.
I have looks like 4. So
okay.
We just alternate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, otherwise it will be.
Okay, so the first one is one that I talked about last time, and that is Put a Bird on It by Modern Folk Embroidery. I joined in the stitch along that's being hosted by the Sunshine Stitchers, EJ and Shelia, and also Deb, who's on there sometimes. All 3 of them are doing this, and
you were putting a bird on it.
Thought I just had one more motif to do, but math is hard. I have 2 more motifs to do to catch up. My plan is sort of to do like 2-ish motifs a month, and then spend 1 month on this jumbo big blue thing. So this is how it's looking.
Yeah, that looks great.
I know. This is such a beautiful project. And I worked in here. So I think I had started this motif last time. So I finished that, and then I came down and I did this motif with these 2 birds in here. The rest of this I had done previously. So now I'm sort of caught up to March. So at some point I'll pull this out. I find when I watch the Sunshine Stitchers, I'm like, oh, I can't stand it. I've got to pull it out. I have to work on it because it's beautiful. And there's so many beautiful variations of this happening. I joined the Facebook group so that I can
see all of it,
be inspired and see it all. And also I've seen some on Instagram, and they're just, everyone's take on this is so beautiful and varied, and I love that. I am stitching mine on a 36 count Wild Mint by Atomic Ranch, and I'm using the color and cotton thread Eucalyptus, which is sort of a teal and green color. And I really like how, I can't tell, I'm not sure if you can see the variegation on it.
It doesn't show very well on the camera, but there's definitely, in person you can see the variation.
Yeah, and it's looking really lovely on this fabric. It's been a while since I've done a monochromatic piece, and I'm really enjoying it. So I will pull this out at some point this month, and either I'll probably do 2 small motifs this month and save that big one for a month when I feel like it. But yeah, that is my put a bird on it.
And she put a bird on.
I did. I put 2 birds on.
You put lots of birds.
Oh yeah. So I mentioned in the last video that I'm not going to do the letters as Jacob has designed them. That I was trying to figure out what kind of, how I'm going to do the words.
Yeah.
And then we were watching Nithya from Daybreak Stitchery, and she already finished hers because she enjoyed it so much that she used the letters to put the phrase "put a bird on it."
Oh yeah.
On her pattern, and I was like, I might do that. That is definitely an option.
The realm of possibility.
That is, yes, that might happen. Nithya. I like that. So I might do that, or I might put letters that are significant to us and people in our family.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah. I've got time. I'll probably save that for last.
So my first whip, this is kind of like a start and stop whip because this is my U.S. National Parks one. So it's like, there's 63 patterns of all the different parks. So I started a new one this month. I didn't quite get it finished. We can put a cover photo in because I don't think I have one printed out. But so this is as far as I've gotten. This is it's a big piece of fabric, as you can see. It goes all the way down. So this is the one I've been stitching on. This was a start. It's just called the Badlands. And I didn't quite get it finished. It's got a little a buffalo, but I did start it this month. I guess started the frame the previous month, so I did all the stitching in the middle. And maybe I might have finished the frame this month, or when I went to work on it in March. So I got quite a bit done, but not quite finished. And this is a park we've been to. So one of the things I'm doing, if you're new here with these patterns, I'm stitching the way I am. I've moved the patterns out a tiny bit to leave space. I'm going to, as we visit them together, because we've been to some of these parks separately, but the ones we've been to together, I'm actually going to put like a green frame around and then put the date that we visited together on there. And it'll be kind of like a record of all the different national parks that we visited. And I might design like a simple frame around it at the end when I get them all stitched, possibly. I don't really know. I haven't decided. And then this will hang in my office. I can take it. I'm going to find a creative way to finish it so that I can easily take it down and add the frames as we visit them. So I might do like a magnetic frame, those ones that hang with magnets, but haven't decided. So, but if you have any suggestions, I mean, I'm always open to suggestions for finishing this one, but I really enjoyed this one a lot. This one is on, what is this one on? 20 count fabric we got from the Needlework Gallery. I don't think it actually had a...
This tag says Slate, but I don't know who it's by.
I don't know who it's by.
And we don't know if that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know.
I don't know. It could be slate. It could be... I don't know.
It's like a gray.
It's like a gray.
Slightly bluish gray.
Slightly bluish gray. And this actual pattern is by Stitch and Madness. And it is also part of my my I Spy. It has 4 repeating elements, which are the borders. That was a pretty easy one. It's just stitched 1 over 1 though with the DMCs. I'm not trying to change up this ones because it all uses a similar color thing. I think.
I mean, you like the designs.
I like the designs as they are. So And so that was one of my whips from this month.
Another project that I worked on is Cherry Blossom Creek by Dimensions.
Yeah, that's the one I gave
Gold
you.
Collection. This was unexpected. I didn't have this on my radar to work on this month, but I had a dream one night that I was walking through this really lush, really beautiful garden that was just blooming, like just full of blooms. And so when I woke up, like I immediately started thinking of this project. I was like, I have to work on that because that is the vibe of the dream that I had.
It is a beautiful project.
Yeah. So, ooh,
it's looking beautiful.
It is. It's really coming to life. So this month, when I worked on it, I worked on a lot of, I think I had the blue splotches and yellow splotches done, but I did a lot of these, whatever these flowers are down in here, and the greenery. I filled in most of the greenery that's down here. And then I started working on the path. So that was a color that I hadn't done yet. So I started carrying the path all the way down to here. And then I started filling in some of the greenery and flowers and maybe bushes over in this section. There's going to be, the creek is right in here. So there's some rocks and things that'll come in later. But I just put in so much work on this. And it went really fast. A lot of the stitching in the path is half stitches. But it's like half stitches with blended 3 strands or 4 strands of fabric. But I really like the effect that it gives. Yeah. So I am just following the directions and doing what's called for on this. This is whatever came with the kit is what I'm stitching it on.
It looks like 16 or 20 or 14, 16 count maybe?
Yeah, I can't tell. Yeah, but I don't know. I liked this. Last time I was working on this, I was having a hard time.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, so I will probably work on this more this spring. I'll probably try to come over and try to get to the lake, and I may try to work more on this tree because there's a lot more of it to go.
Oh yeah, it's gonna look beautiful.
Yeah, so I might, as I said, I might work either on extending the tree some or work on getting to some of these rocks and the flowers out here. I think somewhere in here is where the page break is, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I may work on this a few more days in April.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I look forward to seeing more of it in April.
Yeah, okay.
So my next whip, this is I don't know, it's an older whip, but it was last summer. You
started it last year.
I started it last summer on our cruise to Alaska. That's when I started it. So this is called Lighthouse by, let's see who this is by.
White Raven.
White Raven Patterns. And I'm just stitching this on 20 count white Zweigart, doing 1/1 with the call for DMCs. So I've really been enjoying this pattern. I haven't done a lot of lighthouses, but I enjoyed this one. This one seemed like it fit the Alaska vibe, and it also fit my Spy as well. Mm-hmm. So this one, each of the 4 pages is shaped like a pie, which is one of the things. Mm-hmm. And then it's also, it isn't water, but it's the color of water. There's a lot of blue that is not water. There is a little bit of water in the pattern, but
yeah, but that's going to be over here where you're not at yet.
Correct.
I think, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I've really been enjoying this one. It's a pretty easy one to stitch. I think I spent maybe 3 or 4 nights, and I've been working on down below here. So I got the land below the lighthouse put in this last bit of sky. I think this tiny bit here is actually water, possibly, but okay. So down below it just finishes out with some more land, and then there's a big wave I think over here, which I'll get to eventually. But I've been enjoying it. I haven't stitched on as much as some of my other projects, but I've been enjoying the stitch. So
this is the stitch that I usually bring when we go to my parents' house
because it is so easy. It's on white fabric and it doesn't. It's not a ton of variation, you know, like on stopping and starting with different. So it's pretty easy to stitch on. So that is my lighthouse. I've been enjoying that a lot. So.
The next pattern that I worked on was Bluebirds of Happiness by JBW Designs. I started this on Leap Day last year, and I don't think I've worked on it probably in a year. I haven't worked on it. But I saw bluebirds out our window one day, and that's not something that we see at this house as
No,
much.
because they like open spaces
So I
better.
thought, well, I should work on.
If you see them, you should stitch them.
Yeah. So I did pull out and get some really good progress on this month. I had started this greenish border, so I completed that. And then I think I had started this border and I completed the little greenish borders. And then I did this kind of maybe garland with blueberries and this bird with the berries down here, this motif. So I put in a lot of stitches on this.
Quite a few actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, you're almost finished.
No.
Not quite?
Not quite. But I'm enjoying stitching this, and this is stitched on, I'm stitching with the called for, it's mostly over-dyed threads, and some DMC, and it's on a 32 count limited edition by Color and Cotton. It's a really nice neutral color.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I enjoyed working on this a couple days. It had been a while, as I said, since I worked on it.
The last year or sometime.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it has been a while.
Probably last spring.
Yeah, so it's probably been almost a year.
Yeah. So, it was nice to get out again. If I see those bluebirds.
Come back, bluebirds. She needs to stitch on this.
Yeah. So that's Bluebirds of Happiness.
Bluebirds of Happiness. Mm-hmm. So let's see. The next one I'm stitched on is actually in this book. It's once again in this book.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find it real quick. If not, then it's not a big deal. But I know it's somewhere back here. I passed it. There it is. Not the pattern itself. I want the page that shows what the pattern looks like. So this is Woodpecker at Work. Another cross stitch in the forest by Max Pigeon. I actually started this one on the previous Zoom call we had with Karen.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I think this is the, yeah. So this is the progress I made. You can see his little foot down the bottom of the tree. I haven't made it to the woodpecker. I thought I would get more stitching on this one this month, but it just did not happen. I got some stitching on, obviously. I filled in a fair bit of the tree, but so this one is being stitched on 18 count blue Aida, 1/1 with the called for DMCs. This was a part of the Food the Coop Sal. And I made it a part of the, that's by Helen D, right?
Yeah.
And then I also made a part of my high spy because something comes up from the ground, which is this tree. Technically, I guess birds fly up from the ground, so they also come up. So if it's both counts. But I really love Max Pigeon's designs. He usually uses a small limited palette of colors, and they always look beautiful together. So I really enjoyed this one. I think Karen's already finished hers. She started it that day and then zoomed through it. But I'm enjoying it. I will get to the woodpecker probably not too long from now because I just have to finish filling in that tree and the branch, and then there's just some leaves in the woodpecker. So at some point I'll be stitching the woodpecker. But I've enjoyed it. It's been a fun pattern to stitch. So,
yeah.
So that is my woodpecker at work.
The next project that I have is because of WhipGo. So if you don't know what WhipGo is, it's sort of like a bingo board where you fill in whatever projects you want, however you want. And then 2 numbers are called each month. So for the month of March, the 2 numbers that were called, it's on the other sheet that I have, but the projects that were called were the 2018 Santa and I Smell Snow. So my goal is to work 2 nights on the projects in the month, and that is what I did. One of them I only worked on 1 night, and that is this one. The 2018 Santa by Prairie Schooler. This was one of my 12 Days of Snow Friends starts this past December. And my goal was to finish the Snow Friend and the rabbit, and I did.
So you met your goal.
Yeah. So it only took me 1 night, but I did meet my goal of finishing that. And this is how it looks. It's so cute.
Yeah. I love your snow friends. You always have fun snow friends you're stitching on.
Yeah. So I think I had up to somewhere in here with the white, so I just did the white the rest of the way, and I did the cute little rabbit. And my goal was to get to that point because I think the next time I pick this up will be in July, and I'm going to start on the Santa.
Oh yeah, July.
Yeah, because usually I do Santas in July.
Christmas in July.
So I got it to the point that I wanted to, And now it's ready for next time. I'm stitching this with number 3 pearl cottons in the called for DMC colors. And I'm stitching it on 7 count sand colostrum by Witchy. It's going to be jumbo. It's going to be great. Yeah. I'm going to love it.
It'll live with all your other snow friends we have. Yeah. Okay, so this next one is my 12-month sal that I'm doing from Alforce Embroidery. Mm-hmm. So this is a part of the I Spy I'm doing. Mm. It's the something in Dr. Seuss. It's very whimsical. I figured it fits in Dr. Seuss.
Okay.
It's the best thing I could figure on. It also represents time, which is part of the I Spy sal. Mm-hmm. And it's something that could be seen on a float. So she's going to put in some...
Yeah, so I'll insert a picture of what the overall pattern looks like so far. They have the cover image with all 12 on one piece. So I'll insert that. And then I'll insert a picture of what the February block looks like, because that's the one that Michael worked on.
That's the one I worked on, yeah. I'm a couple months behind, but I'm also started late. So, and mm-hmm. I didn't get as much stitching on as I wanted to. Mm-hmm. But this is where I am on it. Ooh. So it's looking good. You can see the little mountains and the little skier who's come down. He's not quite finished. His little skates up top. So it's looking good. I'm enjoying these. I'm doing them individually rather than as one whole. I think they had designed it as a whole. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to do them individually, and I think I'm going to finish it on something with like back knits, so that I can change them out each month in my office. So I'm enjoying this. This one has been stitched on 18 count Aida Spellbound by Needle Bling, and I'm just doing it 1/1 with the DMCs rather than the Alforce embroidery, because I didn't want to wait for the shipping for them to get here when I wanted to start it. So it's like I'm starting with I got it with the DMCs, and I'm enjoying it. It looks pretty with the DMCs. Yeah. So that is where I am. I'll probably get a little bit more time in the next few weeks stitching on this one and get into the April one, which has a whole bunch of cats. So that'll be a fun one to stitch on. And then I'm going to do the different season colors on different fabrics. Mm-hmm. So like the winter ones will all be in this fabric, and then I have some yucca yellow picked out for spring. So, but that is my last whip.
Okay. My last one is the other whip go call that I had, which was I Smell Snow by Pansy Patch Quilt and Stitchery. This was something that I purchased at the Jingle Ball, and I started on Christmas. And this is how far I am on this project. So this month I worked on, mostly over here, I worked on the roof. I started some of the shingles and this garland, and then I started doing the window fill-in, and there's a little snowflake that's on the door. So that's what I did in the 2 nights that I worked on it this month. I'm pretty sure that's all I did. I don't know. I may have done more. That was my focus this month. It was at this point, I pulled out the color that's called for the door. And at the time that I was working on this, I think the second day that I was working on this, I was visiting my parents, and my mom and I were watching Gilmore Girls. And I was like, how Gilmore Girls-y do I want to go with this? Because the house is supposed to be yellow. But then I was like, do I make the house blue?
That's entirely up to you.
I don't know. So that's when I was like, okay, I'm setting this down. But yeah. I did meet my goal because my goal was to work more on the house, because I know that's going to be the most dense part of this. I think this is on my whip go board one more time this year. So, but there's also some things that are on the board that I've finished already, so I could swap this in for one of those if I want to.
That's true.
I don't feel obligated to finish it this year.
But if you do, you do.
I don't feel pulled to have this finished this year like I do some of the other projects. So there's that. But I am loving how it's looking. I'm stitching this on 40 count suede by Needle Bling Designs. With most of the called for colors, I'm substituting some that I didn't have. And maybe more changes to come, but I'm not sure.
She will figure that out as she goes.
Yep.
Is that all your whips?
That's all my whips.
And it's all my whips.
Yay.
Whips. All right. So let's see. Do we have purchases next, or do we wait? Do we wait?
I don't know. That's the question.
I think we do. We can do.
Do you want to do plans?
I think we do Stitchy Kindness and Shoutouts, maybe.
Okay, we can do that.
Because haul's gonna take a while.
I know. Do we want to do our plans before haul? That way, if people don't want to. Okay.
Because haul is really a big thing.
It's a lot, people. It's a lot.
I know we had those 2 shout outs. I know we already mentioned
Oh,
Andrew.
Yeah. Andrew gave us a really lovely shout out. Also, a new stitching friend, Spencer from
what was her
Stitching
channel name?
Spencer?
Stitching
Spencer
Spencer,
Stitching.
something like that. Yeah, I can't remember now.
Oh,
We'll have it below.
I'm so sorry, Spencer. We watched your video and we loved it. It was an immediate subscribe for us.
Yeah.
And I went back and I watched your very first whip braid video and I loved it. I'm like, yes, this is what I need.
Yeah, she's great. I definitely think you should check her out.
Oh my gosh, so kind and generous and just a lovely person.
Beautiful projects.
Yeah, she's stitching on a variety of things, which I love.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're so excited. Thank you so much, Spencer.
And we appreciate the shout out. It was just really beautiful.
We do. It was it really touched us deeply.
So those were the couple things we wanted to do.
Yes.
And then shout outs. There's a couple people I wanted to mention. I don't know if there's anybody you wanted to mention.
I feel like we were tagged by a couple other people, and it was just people who wanted to make sure that we watched their videos because they had something to say.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't like a direct comment on us per se.
Yeah, so I know a couple of people I wanted to mention. I don't know.
Who do you want to mention?
I don't know. Who do I want to mention? I've been. This is a person I know a lot of people have probably heard of now. She's definitely shot up but every time I watch her channel, I always feel very happy and she's very joyful. So Adelaide Stitches.
Oh, Adelaide.
Yes. I started watching her 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah, so at the Jingle Ball, we met a few different Australian Flosstubers, and they told us how difficult it is for them to show up in the American algorithms. So we started subscribing to some Australian people so that they will start showing up in our algorithms, and Adelaide was one of the ones that showed up in December at some point.
And so I was like, this person is just so bubbly and happy and cheerful.
Oh my gosh, she has so much joy and just genuinely loves her projects so much.
And so many beautiful projects. Like, I wrote down a few of them that I really have enjoyed watching. Like the Fantastical Greenhouse one is really beautiful.
It's a tiny modernist stitch along that's happening right now.
And then there's a few people doing the Arctic Animal ones that's really beautiful. And then she's doing the 324 that you did. It's just fun to see her doing that one. And then she's also going to be doing the Extraordinary Bird Sal that you're doing. So it's like...
We watched her most recent video and she was showing her fabrics and I was like, that would be good. That would be good. That would be good. Whatever you choose, Adelaide.
Yeah, so it's just been such a joy to watch her. She always makes me feel good when I leave. So it's definitely go check her out if you've not checked her out. She's definitely a joy to watch. And the other person I wanted to mention was Tyler over at Will Stitch. I've been enjoying watching his videos a lot. He's
a newer Flosstuber.
He's a newer Flosstuber. Does about once a month like we do. And he has some really fun projects that I've been enjoying. He's got a really fun personality. He's doing the Halloween Tiny Time, which I want to do at some point. I know you have the pattern, so I don't.
I already did it.
You already did it, but I'll probably do my version of it at some point.
Okay.
He's doing a fun one called Life, Liberty, and Pursuit of Squirrels, which is a fun pattern. I really like his vintage Christmas pattern he's doing with the Christmas tree and the ornaments and that. That one's really beautiful. It kind of strikes me as a vibe I probably would stitch at some point, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
He's part of the group that started Mermaids for the Mermaid Day.
Yes, Mermaids.
And that's really beautiful, the project that he's working on. He also has done / is doing a lot of Blueberry Ridge.
Yeah, he really just got into that. He's really been loving that.
I know he was working on Floral Motif Sampler, and I was like, oh, I gotta work on that.
Yeah. So
anyway, there's a lot of projects that like either I'm really drawn to or Michael is really drawn to, and it's just we really enjoy your stitching and the way that you present it.
Yeah, so definitely check him out. We'll have both of those linked below.
Yeah.
Those are just a couple people I know. I know there's more people, but I like those people.
Yeah, I watched a bunch of either video number ones or people that were new to me that just have flown under our algorithm radar for a long time.
Is it just me or the algorithms on YouTube getting worse?
I don't know. They're getting weirder.
They're getting weirder. Like, I don't know. I don't understand.
But I found a bunch of really awesome people, so I might just like make a list of them and pop them on the screen here. So if you're looking for someone new to watch, take a screenshot or write a couple of these down and go check them out. I really enjoyed each and every one. Being a part of this community is so fun, and it's so great to see just the diversity of stitching and approaches to stitching and what everyone's working on. I just love seeing it all.
Yeah, so definitely check out those people and check out other people. I mean, there's always new people popping up.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
everybody deserves to have some love and support, right? So,
yeah.
So So those were shout outs and kindness.
I do have a little bit of other kindness.
Oh, you do have some other kindness.
So in our last video, I had showed my mom made me a project bag for my birthday, and at like a couple weeks later, she said, "Oh, I think I have enough fabric left over that I can make a tote bag." So she did. So this was the fabric that she used to make me a project bag, and she also made my sister-in-law. I don't remember if it was a project bag or a tote bag, but she had enough that she could make me one of these big tote bags that she knows that I love. And she used this cute polka dot inside fabric, so I'm excited to use this. Cute bag. It's so cute. And then Michael's mom has been cleaning out.
Oh yeah.
She's been cleaning out one of her closets. We're thinking about trying to get a washer and dryer upstairs so she can get to it.
Yeah.
But she found some things in the closet that she passed on to me. One of them is this like quilt kit. So she has a fabric that I'm assuming she was going to use for the backing and maybe the sashing or something. But then she had all of these blocks that she had already cut out, and they're like these cute, almost like stencil-y design of different Christmassy things. Santas, and I think there's 2 or 3 of each block. So I might have some fun with this and make a little Christmassy quilt. There's a cute goose. Anyway, so they're super cute. So I might try to figure out something, make some sort of lap quilt or something like that this winter. And then she also found this needlepoint canvas. What
How
is
cute
this?
is this?
Plastic canvas needlepoint. That's a snow friend. It's never been opened. It's never been used.
Yeah, I think you're going to have fun with that one.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be so good. So I'll definitely start this in my 12 days of Snow Friends Palooza in December.
I look forward to seeing that one.
It's just so cute. I've never done plastic canvas needlepoint, I don't think. So
the first time.
That'll also be fun. But yeah, treasures from the closet. I'm sure there's more to come, but yeah.
So yeah, so those were no stitching kindness, I guess, right? So
no.
Those
just
were
kindness.
Just kindness. So we want to do plans before we do haul because haul is big.
Yes, I would like that.
Okay. So plans. Do you want to talk about your plans, or should I talk about my plans?
Why don't you talk? I need to drink of water.
Okay, I will go ahead and talk. So I'm going to keep working on some of the projects I showed. Obviously, the camping lantern one that I've been excited about for a while. I know I had talked about figuring out the Wandering Middle-earth motifs and how they were going to be placed. I might spend a little time this month looking at that and see if I can't start figuring those out. Because there's a lot there. But yeah, I mean, I'll be doing like the 12-month February and start March. But I have a couple other things. I know, I think it's, let's see what I actually wrote it down. April 26th.
Oh, Pretzel Day.
Is National Pretzel Day. I absolutely love pretzels. I have pretzels almost every day. Of some kind.
It's so true.
Almost of some kind. Like, I haven't had soft pretzels in a while, which I probably need to have some of those soon. But I have pretzels. Usually have 2 or 3 different types of pretzels in the house at any one time.
The way to Michael's heart is pretzels.
So I thought, well, I somehow started accumulating pretzel patterns. People have given them as gifts. They know. So I'm going to do a pretzel day start along. If anybody has any pretzel patterns they want to stitch or want to get a pretzel pattern, I think I've already shown the pattern, the pretzel ones I have.
Yeah, in our last video, we showed the 3 that you have.
So if you're curious about which pretzel patterns I'm talking about, we did show them in the last video. But I'm going to choose at least one of those. It's going to be a little bit trickier getting all my stitches in that day because we also have a game day that day planned.
Oh, yeah, we do.
But I will definitely be getting at least one or 2 of those patterns started.
You know, one of those we discovered when we opened it up after we had shown the video is that it's printed.
It's printed on there.
The design is printed on there. There's not really a pattern. So that might be an easy one to start.
That would be an easy one to start that night when I'm tired. Yeah. And I might start the one early in the morning when I get up because I usually am up.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, you could do that.
So I'm going to do at least a couple pretzel pattern starts, which I'll have a lot of fun with. And I know... I also I'm going to have a new start that's part of the I Spy. So I pulled this one. I'll just show it quickly because I don't have a cover one, but this is a Clippy one. This is a pattern of Clippy. I'm sure there's a little bit of nostalgia, especially where in the department I work for Clippy. We all think he should be given like AI sentience so he can start popping up again, but
no.
Everybody remembers Clippy. How can you forget him? He was always there to be helpful.
Like a nightmare,
and so So this pattern is, it appears you're trying to cross stitch with Clippy on it. And this is the fabric I've picked out for it. This is just like a teal blue
Yeah,
screen.
it was a special hand dye from Remy's Creations.
So it's an 18 count Aida. It's just, it'll fit really nicely with this little tiny pattern. I'm not sure where I'm going to put him. I'll put him maybe where he's out of sight of you, so he doesn't give you nightmares. But
no, just the AI concept is.
The AI concept is kind of creepy.
No.
Hey, Clippy needs that. He needs to be able to talk to you and say,
no.
Hey.
That's a nightmare.
So that is my silly pattern that I'm going to be doing for I Spy this month. It's going to be a new start. I actually probably will finish it this month because it's a small pattern. I know there's a sale. I don't know exactly when it's going to start that I'm excited about. So it's not really a plan for this coming month, but it'll be planned this year at some point. There's a, for those of you who did the Forest Fairy Tale Quaternion sale, yeah. She's just announced the theme for her next one, which is going to be a burrowing animal, like forest animals, kind of fairy tales of that. And I think that'll probably be sometime in the summer or fall. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if any of you enjoyed that or would enjoy that kind of a new sale, but I will definitely be doing that one. So if you want to join, just certainly check that one out, because I saw it on Instagram where she posted the announcement, but I haven't seen anything on her website because I went right afterwards to look at her website. So I will be stitching that one. I have to figure out my fabric and all that. But
I know she said it's going to be pretty much the same size as the Forest Fairy Tale.
Pretty much the same size, which is a pretty good size. So you'll need a decent amount of fabric for it. But that is on my plans. I know I have like a summer sale I'll be doing as well that I think I talked about. So yeah, I'll be doing a summer Snoopy sale as well. But I'll be starting that in June. So,
and I know we've heard several people talk about, I think it was Jason and Tyler talked about doing a halfway to Halloween stitch. So I think you'll probably do something for that.
I've been thinking about that as well, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be in May.
That's in May. So I have one of the things I have a lot of is Halloween patterns. I have Halloween and fall patterns more than almost anything, even probably more than Christmas for sure. Because autumn and Halloween are it's my time of year. So I will be joining that sale as well as Tyler and that. So if you're watching, but those are some of my plans that are coming up. I don't know if you want to talk about your plans now.
Yeah, I got plans. So the first plans I'll talk about are the Whip Go numbers that were called for April were 4 and 10, which for me is Merry Friends towels and Give Greatly. So Give Greatly is by Silver Creek Samplers. I started this in my 12 Days of Snow Friends in 2023, and I only worked on it that one day in 2023. So I just got the smallest bit of a hat and snowflakes. So this is on my board 3 times this year. So I would like to work on it 2 nights this month and get progress. I may work on it 3 nights. I'm not sure. This is on a mystery fabric. 40 count mystery fabric from a Color and Cotton grab bag from a few years ago. Yeah, so I'll work on that this month. And the other one that got called was Merry Friends Tea Towels. I started this in my 12 Days of Snow Friends in 2024. This one down here. And this is high fashion. I'm stitching this on a shirt. So this is where I'm at on this.
Yeah.
I think I had worked on this 2 nights back in December. And so I will definitely be excited to work on this some more. I think this is also on my board 3 times total. So my goal is to definitely finish this one by December so that I can wear it.
Because if you let that sit with the stuff, it definitely doesn't age well.
Yeah, someone was, I think Andrew.
It was Andrew, yeah.
Andrew's Andrew.
Andrew the Stitcher, Runner Stitcher.
Andrew's Andrew.
Andrew's Andrew?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was talking about this.
Was it Andrew? Oh, yeah, it was Andrew's Andrew.
Yeah. So, I will work on this and get it closer to being able to wear it.
Yeah. I'm excited to see that one finished.
Those are my Whip Go calls. I also, give me that Max Pigeon book.
Oh, I can do that. That's for sure.
Let's see.
Oh, you're going to be starting one.
Okay, so our friend Laura from Stitching by the Shore showed and mentioned this in her plans at some point, and that is to do the Heron at Dawn from the Max Pigeon book. And this is one that's been on my radar as kind of wanting to do next from this book. So I will definitely start this at some point this month. I think she said, I don't know, I think she had a few different options for when she was going to start it, but I definitely will be starting this sometime this month. Laura, I would be happy to join you whenever you decide to do that. Another thing I had planned to start on the first day of spring, but then decided to do the bunnies instead, was a Spring Moon by Plum Tree Samplers. And a large part of the reason that I did not start this is that I realized I didn't have all of the threads that I needed to be able to start it. And I also still needed to make a decision on the fabric. So the day came, actually, no, okay, that's a lie. So I was planning on starting this on the first day of spring. But then, like, maybe it was 1 week after our video, I saw a video from 04 Pete's Sake. He's 04 Pete's Sake, I think, on Flosstube, and 04 Pete's Sake Florida on Instagram. I did not realize that he had a Flosstube, but I've been watching him on Instagram for a long time, and I really love his stitching. He's got really beautiful, like, incredibly beautiful stitching. And he did a video with his friend Linda, and they decided they were going to start this on April 1st for their birthdays, the birthday sale. And I was like, heck yes, I'm in on that. So I'll delay and start this on April 1st. But then I realized my mom and I were going to be out of town on April 1st, and I didn't want to bring this large thing to start. But then I also realized I didn't have all the threads I needed. So I had to remedy that and get that all together.
That's important.
So I'm definitely starting this in April so that I can join in all the fun. And I'm doing something a little bit. This is my fabric.
Oh, I do love that fabric. That is beautiful.
This is 40 Count Ciela by Laura's Fabrics. And I think it's going to be cool.
I think it's going to look really good on that.
I don't know. I decided, like, it's called For on a Beige. I think Pete's doing it on brown. And Linda's doing it on something. I don't remember. It's somebody, I don't know. I've seen a few people working on this lately. And this is very different from what everyone else is doing. But I kind of like that.
I like it.
Yeah. So I'm definitely starting this month. And that's going to be very exciting. And I have the threads that I need now. I think there's one DMC that neither of us have that I need to get.
Oh.
I can get that. Other things I may start this month are Holiday Hoopla Easter by Brenda Gervais and Betsy's Spring Basket by Pansy Patch. These are things I had in my, like, spring possible plans. But also I just bought a bunch of stuff, so will I start those? I don't. But those are kind of option this spring.
So is that all of our plans?
Do
you have any other plans?
Is empty. I think we made it.
So we made it through all of our plans and our stitching kindnesses and all that, and all of our stitching. So if you're here, if you're not really into haul,
if you don't want to see our purchases, now's the time to.
You can either you can exit if you want, or you can skip ahead to our game if you're interested in that.
I do have one sewing thing to show, so if you're interested in that, just hang around a minute. And
do you want to go ahead and do the showing before we do haul? Because
I will. I'll show the sewing, and then we'll go into purchases, and then we have one game to talk about.
We have one game to talk about at the end. So, but yeah, go ahead and show your sewing, and then we'll get into haul because it might take a little bit to get through haul.
Yeah.
So you're sewing.
Yes. So I did uncover the sewing machine. It's currently uncovered.
I'm glad to see it because I
know it's been a few months. I've been sort of, I don't know, fighting with myself over it. And I just decided I got to do this and get over it and get back to sewing. So I made those 2 pillows that I fully finished. And then I also made myself a purse.
Oh, yeah, you did.
So I had a purse for, I think, the last 2 years that I had made using the Lazy Girl Runaround bag. It was a pattern that I found out about from Carol at the Two Doll Stitchers. It's something that she's made several times and shown in her videos. That she makes as gifts for other people. And so I had gotten that pattern and made myself a bag 2 years ago. And I like it, but it's not, like, I wanted something bigger. So I watched a few different videos this month, and I kind of meshed together 3 different video tutorials that I saw in order to make myself a purse. And it's a patchwork purse. And this is how it turned out. It's really cute. I had what are the small ones called? Charm pack?
Charm pack, yeah.
Not a mini charm pack, but like a regular charm pack that I had cut. I think I made my mom a project bag with some of this, but I still had squares left, so I used those to make the top portion of this. And then I had some jeans that I've had set aside that I wanted to use however I want to, just as fabric. So I used some of the legs material, and I used a few of the other legs to make the strap. And then I had some more fabric from that fabric line that I used to do the inside. This is my first time doing kind of an inset. I don't know what to call this, but like where the zippers
Like an inset.
in deeper in the project. So that was one of the tutorials I used. I used a different tutorial to figure out how to do the patchwork part. I did modify a little bit because the designer, the person who was giving the tutorial, it was a different language. So the measurements were
a little bit off.
Not the same as what my measurements were. So I just sort of wing it.
It turned out really good though.
I did make 2 little pockets inside, which are wonky because I wasn't thinking about the fact that I was going to have to box the bottom. But I did use this fabric also all on the inside. I would say my measurements for the inside were off. I could have gone like it ends here and the rest of the bag ends here. So there's some space, but in a way that's good because it gives it room to sort of flex inside. It's nice and big. I can fit my sunglasses case in here, which was part of my goal because that's something that I haven't been able to fit in my regular purse. Yeah. And then I also made this was a oopsie. I thought I was making like a wallet size, and it's much too small.
Much smaller for a wallet.
But it's a cute little like coin purse. I put my hair ties and stuff in there with that same lining fabric inside, so I can have that in my purse. And then I made this like a little bit bigger size so that I could fit my cards and cash and ID and all of that in there. And then I put this little hook on there so it's easier for me to find and pull out of there. So this was a different tutorial that I watched to figure out this. So that was fun. Like, it was a fun, creative experience for me to try to
get you back into sewing,
flex my sewing skills, and get my brain thinking about sewing again so that I can get back into quilting sometime this spring.
Yeah. So yeah, that was her sewing.
That was good. That was my sewing.
I'm glad she got into sewing again.
I know. Michael's been telling me to, and I just keep putting it off.
And now she's finally got it dusted off and is moving forward.
Yeah.
So that is everything except for our haul and games. So if you're not here for the haul, which is going to be a while, she partly because of the trip she went on. Yes. We also had the birthday stuff too. So if you're not here for that, we hope you enjoyed what you saw today.
Yeah, it was nice to spend some time with you. We hope you have a good month.
Yeah, and enjoy doing the things you love with the people you love this month. Yeah. And if you are new, if you would like to subscribe and like the video and all those wonderful things we do, we would certainly appreciate it. But otherwise, I hope you have a good month. And if you're staying for haul, buckle up and grab yourself a nice beverage because it might be a bit.
Yeah, I'm going to take a drink.
Yes, you'll be doing more of the talking. I'll probably be your assistant on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where are we going to start?
Okay, so as we mentioned, we went to Color and Cotton on my birthday. And in addition to the threads that we already showed and talked about, I picked up some 20 count fabrics. This is the first time I've ever seen 20 count fabrics there, and I was very excited because that's kind of something that we both like to stitch on.
Yeah.
So I got, in addition to the one that I already showed, I got 2 others. Yeah, 2 others. This one is Space Cadet. It's like this really bright blue, which I think I already have plans for.
Aha.
I also got Winter Moon, which is a really lovely grayish blue. Maybe a teal.
Do you have plans for that too?
Blue. Not yet. No. And then I also got a 36 count. I'm out of black, like blackish fabrics. So I got, this is a really lovely, like bluish black.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, I like that. So I needed some black, so we got that. Michael also got some other options for threads.
I did. So I got other options for threads.
You don't have to go through each one of them, but I just thought you could show. This is kind of like... Those were some other ones you had gotten.
Yeah, these are the ones I had gotten that I actually had not used for this.
Yeah, so we'll add those to our Color and Cotton.
They'll be used at some point on something.
And then you also got this fabric.
Oh, I did get this fabric. I got this fabric. Color and Cotton Lilac. I needed like a purple.
Yeah, it's 18 count.
It's like an 18 count purple called Lilac from Color and Cotton. So I needed a purple. I had like
You have a darker purple.
I have a darker purple. I needed like a lighter purple because I know I'd wanted one earlier for something and ended up using something else because I didn't have light purple.
Yeah.
So I got myself a 18 count purple. There wasn't a lot of 20 counts with that kind of color there.
Yeah.
So.
Let me share something.
Yeah, you want to? Here, I got room because I don't need.
Yeah, let's make some room.
I can make room over here. You can shove some stuff over here.
Okay, Michael also ordered some fabric from 123 Stitch. He got a yard.
I got a whole yard
of 20 count black Ada.
I use a lot of it, and I know she likes 20 counts as well.
Yeah, I do.
So it'll get used.
Yeah.
I thought, well, that's a common color that I use, and I might as well go all and get a whole yard.
Yes. I had placed an order with a Top Knot Stitcher, Abby, before market. I saw that sometimes I peruse the website because she has these little like ornament cuts of fabric. So I got, it's running away.
It's running away from you.
So I got some ornament cuts of Ada. She also sent me this cute Forbidden Fiber Co. limited edition thread on a little floss drop, which was so sweet. But I think they're all fiber on a Whims. Stone, Night Sky, Steel, Latte,
some lovely colors you got here.
Moonstone, and Hydrangea. And these are all 18 count Adas. Yeah, so that's exciting because these are things that we'll both be able to use, and they're just all small cuts. So if you're interested in trying over-dyed fabrics, that's a good way to kind of try it out. Because they're small, so the price is
more affordable.
More affordable
for just trying something out you're not sure about.
Yeah, but also like with my snow friends and a lot of the spring things I'm going to be starting still. They're mostly small, so it'll be good to have these smaller cuts of fabric. Okay, I also, when I did our Drawer of Potential video, I said that I struggle with the circle finishes, and that very same week, Helen from Helen D showed some circle frames that she had got from Joann's, which
we're all sad about Joann's.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
But of course, then I couldn't get them from the Joann's website like she recommended, so I ended up purchasing some frames from Lucilla.
Oh yeah, you did.
These are available on Amazon, but I'm trying to spend less on Amazon, and I think there's somewhere else that these were, but I ended up purchasing them from Plaid, which is the owner of Lucilla. So I got this 8-inch circle, and these are just like wood that you can paint.
Paint or stain or whatever.
Yeah, and they're designed so that you can stick a hoop inside. So there's that one. I got this hexagon with a circle. I got this circle with kind of this beaded design around the circle, and I got this square with a circle. So this will be good for some of the circle finishes that I have. Also, while I was on that website, I saw this cute snowman felt kit.
Yeah, and snowman, so why not, right?
He had to come home. Like, he's got purple in his hat. What? Please be my friend. So I've never done one of these. I know my mom did some stockings. Lucilla felt stockings.
I kind of those Snoopy Lucilla patterns I'm doing.
I know, but this is felt. This isn't.
I know. It's not.
So I'm excited to try this.
She's excited to try it.
That came home with the frames. Okay, then we get into our adventures.
Then her adventures haul. Take a breath.
Okay, so our first step was keepsakes, which was amazing. There are beautiful models everywhere. In every direction that you look, it's just floor to ceiling. She
arrived there, and the first text I got, a picture of all the stuff in one of the rooms. I'm like, wow.
With like 1,000 little heart eye emojis. It was exciting. So, of course, I came home with a very full keepsakes plaid bag, and I focused mostly on patterns when I was there. So I got this cute one I've never seen, little snowman in the drifts. That was cute. Quaker sewing tray by Brenda Gervais. Jelly Bean Jubilee by Brenda Gervais. These are cute Eastery
ones, yeah.
Yeah, this is one. They're also cute. Easter Parade by Blackbird Designs. This is one I've been eyeing for a while. Morning Musings by Lindy Stitches. This was a new release. Basket Full of Autumn Time by Brenda Gervais. I had done the Christmas one of this series and really enjoyed that. Peppermint and Pine by Brenda Gervais, of course. Birds.
No surprise there.
I know. Souvenirs of the Heart. Home for Christmas by Brenda Gervais. Santa's Tree Farm by Brenda Gervais. The Prairie Schooler Bump in the Night. I like that a lot. And Prairie Schooler Prairie Birds. They had a big model of this on like 14 count Ada, and it was so good. But yeah. And then I also got the new Threadworks X Stitch the Rainbow pack from Market. And I was able to get 2 of the patterns that use this there. One was Counting Puddles Moonlit Moth.
That is a very EU pattern.
And Night Owl by Stitchy Pros. Yeah. I really like both of these. So, and then I also got Michael a corner gauge.
A corner gauge, because I needed one.
He loves corner gauges.
I love corner gauges.
And I thought it was cute because it's got the keepsakes house on it.
Yeah. I'm excited to use it.
Yeah. So that was my keepsakes.
Maybe I'll use it to start Cody.
Purchases. I loved it. It was so good.
You had a great time with that one.
We had a great time. My mom got more treasures than I did there. Our next up was Mystic Fabrics, which was so good.
That's in Indianapolis?
It is in Rushville.
Rushville.
Which is maybe like an hour and a half outside of Indianapolis.
So not too far.
I don't know.
But it sounded like fun.
It was so good. We walked in the shop and she was just so warm and welcoming. And I really loved the way that she had things set up there. And I also found a lot of patterns there. And a lot of the new market release patterns. I got the Pigeon and Puddle by the Blue Flower. Birdsong Berries by Erica Michaels. I just love those birds. Gathering Bright Blooms by Robin Pickens. Una Owl by the Artsy Housewife. The 2025 Collector's Heart. And this is a partial kit. It came with linen and the beads and buttons.
Just gotta
to be able to stitch it. Mm-hmm. A Quirky Quaker Snowy Owl. And then Michael's been wanting the Christmas Tiny Town. So I got the Christmas Tiny Town and they had the frill also. Yeah. So Michael can stitch those.
I saw that originally went down in Branson and it got bought before I got over to
They had one and there was someone there who bought it before Michael could get it.
But now I have it so I can stitch it.
He's got it.
I'm excited.
And then I saw this and thought of Michael.
That's definitely a me
pattern. It's called a Cozy Reading Cottage. I've never seen this before. From the Stitch Crypt.
Hey, it's definitely a me pattern.
Look how cozy
as soon as you
that
showed
is.
it to me, I mean, it's like, I have to stitch that one.
How is this not on your radar?
I have no idea, but it will be now. I will have to check out the actual website and see what other kind of designs.
And then this was another one on Michael's wish list.
That was on my wish list,
which was The Vanishing Isle by Autumn Lane Stitchery.
It's kind of got that folktale myth kind of a feel to it. So it's like, this one was and she found it, so
yeah,
I was excited.
Yeah. She had a great selection of patterns. She also had a lot of fancy ladies and the stuff that you need for fancy ladies if you're looking for those. She also has a fabric dyeing company. So I got several pieces of her beautiful hand-dyed fabric. Michael had asked me for some sort of light yellow. So I found this Palomino. It's 18 count Ada. It's really good.
It's pretty. I'm excited to use it.
Yeah. And then I also got some more Ada for Michael. I got this Audie, which is like browns and yellows. We got Keepsakes, which is a really nice neutral. Like a yellowish, orangey neutral.
Yeah. I will be looking forward to using these.
And then she also had some 20 count. So I got Chinchilla, which is this beautiful gray. I got Sea Glass, which is this really cool.
I do love that one.
Like, I saw this and I was like, Michael needs this. It's not coming across. There we go.
That's better.
Yes, it's like this vibrant teal and green.
Yeah. It's still a little washed out in the video, but it is beautiful. Better. It's better. It's beautiful.
It's so...
I will be using that.
I was like, Michael needs this. Stat.
I need that in my...
Throw it in the cart.
I am grateful you threw it in the cart.
And then I got some 36 count linen for myself. I got this winter green. I love a light green.
Oh, yeah.
Fabric for stitching.
Light green comes in so handy.
Yeah. That's my favorite kind of neutral, I think. Smog, which is this bluish gray. Or grayish blue.
Either way.
Yeah. And Reflection, which is more of a vibrant blue. Yeah. And Starfall, which is this beautiful. Deep teal,
I like that one a lot.
Teal color.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Which I really love. I might have plans for this too. So those were the fabrics I got. Misty has a Fabric of the Month club. She has both neutrals and colors. She also just filmed her first Flosstube, so she has a whip braid that's just been filled within the last couple weeks that she put up.
We can probably link that below too.
Yeah. My mom and I love visiting her shop. In addition to all of the cross-stitch things, she also has a selection of quilting fabrics. She had some scrapbook paper. She had some yarn. Yeah, it was just great. She also had a trunk show for the primitive hair going on, so that was cool to see those projects and the display that she had on the wall there. Yeah, we just had a wonderful time in her shop and perusing all of the beautiful things. I could have spent many hours looking at the fabric and patterns and yeah.
Yeah, another trip.
I know. It was good. And then the last stop that we made was to Cranberry Bog Cottage, which is in Terre Haute, Indiana. And there I got Bells of Christmas by Brenda Gervais. Jolly Happy Soul by Brenda Gervais. The Mockingbird's Message. Pin Keep by Scattered Seed Samplers. The Snowman Ornament. 2018 Snowman Ornament I Love Snow by Homespun Elegance. That was so cute. Chili, one of the animal crackers by Stacey Nash. He's got a little snow friend. I just think that's cute. Warm Winter Wishes by Pansy Patch. The Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Designs. A Visit from St. Nick by Hello from Liz Matthews and Kathy Barrick. And The Quaker Christmas Stocking by Kathy Barrick. I'm going to be doing the long sampler one and not the stocking. But this is going to be my Christmas Day start. I already know.
She already knows.
And then my mom bought both of us project bags there. So they had these beautiful patchwork project bags. And my mom said, let's get one to remember and celebrate our trip. So they're cool. They've got like the zipper on the top. And then they've got some beautiful fabric inside. And she's got these cute wool balls on each one. And then a little charm. Mine has a bicycle. So I just thought these were so cute. And this is definitely me, this bright pink and teal.
Yeah, that fits you perfectly.
Yeah. I love it. And it smells good. Because in addition to cross-stitching, she also carries a lot of punch needle and rug hooking. And she also makes candles. So the store smelled amazing. I told my mom, walking into her shop was like a warm, cozy hug. It was just so cozy and cottagey and just wanted to settle in and look at all of the beautiful stitching and projects. And she had everything displayed so nicely and beautifully and thoughtfully. We just had the best time visiting with her. At the end, we were able to spend some time just talking with her, the shop owner, Marilyn, and she's just such a creative and kind person. And she does have a lot of classes that she offers. So does Misty at Mystic Fabrics. They both have a lot of classes that they offer if you're local to them. And yeah, I just really enjoyed my time in the shops, looking at all of the beautiful things. I could have bought so much more. But I just try to focus on things that I know that I absolutely want to stitch.
I'm sure you'll stitch all that stuff eventually.
Yeah.
Is that all the haul?
My haul pile is empty. I tried to do it quickly for you.
You did good.
My friends, I tried to do it.
That was a lot of haul though.
I know.
But like I said, you only go. How often are you going to go on a trip like that? So get what you want.
Yeah. It was good.
It's all paid for.
It was so good. It was so much fun to visit all of these small shops and just talk with the owners and the other people shopping and just connect over this hobby that we all love so much.
I enjoyed seeing the pictures you took. And,
yeah.
So yeah, that's it for all of our cross-stitchy stuff until next time. So we just have our board game stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
So if you're not staying with us for the board games, we hope you enjoyed seeing that haul.
If you have any of those and want to join me in starting them,
feel free. Yeah, let us know. Let us know.
I'll start some things with
you. Or any of these, the ones she got me. I mean, I will be stitching some of these. I don't know exactly when, but some point soon. Some of these. I like the turtle one. I have my. It feels like it's springy to me. So
okay.
That could be a spring start.
Okay.
But so yeah, we hope you enjoyed your stay, and if you're new, please do subscribe, hit like, and if not, enjoy this next month.
Yeah, we hope you have the best month that you can. Hopefully, we'll see you again at the beginning of
we'll
May.
We'll be releasing again in May, so which is actually less than a month away now.
Yeah,
because we're a little bit behind on getting these recorded.
No,
are we?
We usually record the first weekend of the month.
Oh, we do, don't we?
That's what this is.
That's what this is. Okay, so I guess we're not behind. It just feels like it's going quickly to me. I don't know.
Okay.
So yeah, and if you are staying with us for the board games, give us a moment, and we will reset for that.
Yeah.
So, so we are back and ready to talk about board games.
Yeah.
So usually, if you're new here and not familiar with the segment, we usually talk a little bit of an overview of what the games we played each month. Kind of focusing on the detailed runs on games we played 4 or more times that month. So, you have like a graphic usually insert, right?
Yeah, I use a app called Board Game Stats.
Board Game Stats.
And one of the features that it has is that you can make a little graphic of all of the covers of the games that you've played over. You can change the settings on how many, but I just do a month. So you can see the pictures of the covers of the games that we played in the month of March. And then I'll just talk a little bit as that's on the screen about who we played those games with and how many times we played them. So as Michael said, we had a game day with our friends. And on that day, we played 1 game each of Castles of Burgundy, Trekking the World, Dice Miner, Clume, The Loop, and Planet Unknown. We played 2 games of Horrified and 4 games of Mantis. With my dad, over the course of a month, we played 1 game each of Wingspan, Earth, Castles of Burgundy, Critter Kitchen, Tesseract, Arc Nova, Ticket to Ride, and 3 games of Forest Shuffle. My sister-in-law Stephanie was on spring break, so she and I got together online and played some games on Board Game Arena. So over the course of that week, we played 6 games of Can't Stop, 6 of King Domino, 3 of Potion Explosion, 2 of Sushi Go, 1 of Yahtzee, 1 Takenoko, and like a 4th of a game of Hand and Foot. That the rules were very different online from how we play in person. So we decided to abandon that. Michael and I, over the month, we played 1 game of Pretty Clever, 2 games each of Guild of Merchant Explorers and Honey Buzz, 3 games of Bitogu, 4 of Clever Cubed, and 5 of Critter Kitchen.
Yeah, so
it was more games than I thought.
More games than you thought, because we had a busy month.
Yeah.
I know we already talked about Mantis, which we played.
Yeah, so I wrote down the games that we played more than 4 times that we have discussed in previous videos. Mantis and Clever Cubed we talk about in video number 17. Can't Stop, we talked about in video number 16. And King Domino, we talked about in video number 15.
Yeah.
So that just leaves one game that we haven't talked about yet that we played more than 4 times.
That's a new game.
That is a new game that I showed as Game Haul in our previous video. And that is Critter Kitchen.
Dun, dun, dun. It's a big box.
It's a very
You can
big
see
box.
it's really deep. There's a lot of stuff that came with it.
Yes, I backed this on Kickstarter and I went all in. I got all the fancy doodads, bells and whistles, expansion, big box goodness.
Yeah.
This is a game that's designed by and artwork by a game that we like and have had for a few years called Flamecraft.
Yes, that's right.
So when I saw that they were coming out with another game that had cute animals again, I was like, yes, we need this.
Yeah, I mean, because look at this artwork. It's just
it's
like
so good.
It's so
Sandra's
cute.
art is so good.
It's so cute.
So whimsical.
How can you not want to play a game that looks like that?
Fantastical. I know, it's just good. This is why I got it. I'm drawn to fancy, cute games.
With little critters.
With little critters. But also it's like a good game.
It's a really good game.
We've had so much fun playing this over the last month. In this game, you own a restaurant in this magical world where animals are anthropomorphic.
Yeah.
And you have 3 chefs that you're sending out to gather ingredients.
Like your sous chefs. And they're different sizes.
In order to make meals. You're making challenge
meals.
Challenge? What are they called?
There's a critic.
Yeah, that's at the end. There's 2 times throughout the game where you can make plates of food that have to meet certain criteria. And then at the end of the game, you're trying to please a critic who's come to town. And he wants to taste your very best. Yes. Your very best meal that you have to offer.
Yes. Hit you with your best shot.
Yes. One of Michael's favorite films is Ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
So that is also a reason why I said this. I must get this game.
Yes, I do love Ratatouille.
Because it has Ratatouille vibes.
It definitely has Ratatouille vibes. Because that's kind of the feel. It's like you have animals helping you cook, and you are an animal. I mean, I guess technically, but so like you said, there's I guess 2 phases, and then the critic phase, right?
Yes.
And you're making 3 plates each for each of the first 2 phases?
You can make up to 3 plates.
You can make up to 3. You don't always necessarily make that many if you can't get all the ingredients for it.
Yeah. So the heart of the game is that it's a worker placement game. As we said, you have these 3 chefs that you're sending out, but they're different sizes and have different carrying capacities. Yes. So your small chef
are the fastest.
Is the mouse, who's the fastest, so they get to go first at their location, but they can only carry 1 item.
Correct.
Your middle chef is a lizard, and they
go in the middle.
They go in the middle at the location. They can carry 2 items.
And then there's the big...
it's the boar. The boar. Is your third, and he's large.
He can carry a lot.
They go last at their location, but they can carry 3 things. If there's 3 things for you to carry.
And the trick is that each location has a limited number of items it has every time. And so if everybody sends their big guy at a location, some of them may not get anything.
Ooh, then you get soup.
Which is, you don't want a lot of soup.
It can fill in your plate, but the critic does not want to eat soup.
The critic will not eat soup.
Oh.
So soup is useful at times, but it's good not to be caught with too much soup.
Yeah. So every round you have a card full of a handful of cards.
Yes.
With each of the locations that are in the game.
And you assign one of your sous chefs to different
locations. You'll choose 1 card for each of your chefs, a different card for each chef.
And nobody sees what you're doing when you initially play.
No, so you don't know where anyone else is going.
And you all flip them at the same time when you've chosen which cards are going where.
Yes, and you put your little chefs out at their locations, and then you go from left to right through each location until you've reached the Chef Institute.
The Chef Institute, yeah. Where you can actually get a temporary sous chef who's available.
That's
sometimes.
one of the things you can.
Yeah, so you can get an additional helper sometime each round if you're lucky.
Yeah, each location has a certain number of tokens. Most of them are food.
There's different ratings of food.
Right, so each food token has a small number at the top. That number is kind of
It's like the quality, basically.
Yeah, so the higher the number, the higher points you'll potentially get for the meal that you're making.
And then there's wild spices you can use.
There are spices that you can add. There are some specific spices. So like there's a mushroom spice that you can only add to a mushroom ingredient.
And they multiply the value.
Yes. They double the value?
They double the value.
And there's an allspice, which can be placed on any ingredient.
Yeah. So you have to balance because between each of the two challenge rounds, you can only save a certain number of items.
Right. You can only hold so much in your fridge.
Yes, and everything else goes bad basically.
Yeah.
So you have to choose anything that's used in the dish goes away anyway, and then you can save up to a certain number each round, and then. So it's kind of strategically that way. You're trying to figure out which ones do I want to save, which ones can I just get rid of because it's not important. Because you also won't know what each plate wants until that right when you're making that plate. So each of the times that flips over, and then you learn what the new plate is.
Right. So each round, one card for the first 6 rounds. One card is flipped over. The first 3 cards that are there are what you can make.
The first phase.
In the first phase, after the 3rd round. And then the next 3 cards are what you can make after the 6th round.
Because the critic wants one of each thing.
Yes. So. From the beginning, the critic just wants one of each thing. We've got it, because I backed it and got all the
fancy doodads.
The fancy doodads. There's a huge stack of critics. So each one wants something a little bit different. But basically they each want.
They want one of each item, regardless. Yeah. So, and they will not eat soup, as we said. So you have to have those items.
Yes. And the spicier, the better.
The spicier, the better. So, so it's really a balancing act for your refrigerator, because the ones you saving for the critic count against your refrigerated items.
Yeah.
So
the other items that can be pulled from the bag that you might find at a location are rumors. Yeah. At the end of the game, there's 3 rumors that you will also score, which are kept secret. So they are things like having leftover ingredients, or
leftover soup is one
the value of ingredients, or you don't know what it is.
Unspiced food at the end.
Unless you
peek at them.
Take the rumor token in order to peek at what is going to be
And
scored.
they remain face down until everybody's looked at it.
Yeah, once everyone has seen it, then it is turned face up. But there have been a lot of games where maybe only one is face up.
Yeah, or we didn't see
and
all of them.
And Melanie didn't look at anything.
And sometimes you get lucky, and sometimes you don't if you don't look at things. Because... So there's not a huge number of point scoring in the game.
No, so every point is precious.
Yes. Some games there's like point inflation. This one you have to try to maximize your points, because you're not going to get many points in the game.
Once everyone who's at a location has been able to take what they're able to, all of the mice to go first, then all of the lizards, then all of the boars. If there's nothing there for you to take, then you get a consolation soup, which you can add to your plates. But once you're finished at the location, if there are any leftover ingredients, they go to the academy.
And then if there's anything left in the academy, it goes to the soup
at the end for the next day.
For the next day.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting circuit that as you're going through the game. Definitely tricky because you don't know where anybody's going. Or even if they go to the same spot, they may have the earlier if they actually are on the same size person, there's a tiebreaker, and then
there's a little influence track,
and whoever won that tiebreaker, that person goes back to the end of the influence track. That's how they keep it kind of fair for everybody. But it's a fun game. It doesn't take super long to play. It's like an hour.
Yeah, maybe an hour. I think it was less once we were on like our 6th game.
Once you kind of get the hang of it, it takes probably a couple playthroughs to kind of get the flow of it and what's going to come out. But it's not too hard to learn, I would say. There's definitely moving parts, but it's not as complicated as
there are a lot of moving parts, but yeah.
The concepts are pretty easy to learn.
Yeah. It says this age is 12 and up.
Which is probably accurate. So definitely a lot of fun. Beautiful artwork.
So then the plates. So once you get to the end of the 3rd round, you have the option of making the meals that the cards show. So one might be a sandwich. So you can have, or a melt. You can have some kind of fish, cheese, and bread. So then on your plate, you would try to make the most points of just cheese, fish, and bread that you're able to.
And you can stack multiples of each item.
You can. And you can add soup to add to the value of it. But basically, you're trying to get to a certain number of points of those ingredients in order to be able to get stars, which are the points in the game.
Yeah, and unlike the critic can actually, you can only have one of that item on the critic's plate. He actually can't stack multiples of those. So that also makes it trickier because you want the high value for your critic, but you also want high value for your plates. So.
But also, you don't have to do all 3 meals. So there have been some games where, like, I only do 1 meal, but I do it at the highest level possible so that I can get the most points possible.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, at the end of the game, you're basically just focused on the critic's plate.
The critic plates, where you're getting bonus points from the roomers. And if you've served one of every item to the critic, there's a bonus points for that.
And then you also look to see, like, who had the highest numbered mushroom, who had the highest numbered cheese.
And you get a point for that.
You get points for that.
And then you'll actually flip your other card over, and you'll add all the numbers together from your critic meal, and you'll move down the board.
You get a certain number of stars based on whatever that number is.
Yeah. So
to add to your stars.
Yeah, but it's not a ton of stars at the end, really.
No.
Most of the things you get are like 1 point for winning that category. Yeah. So it's not a huge scoring.
Because I did go all in on this, it came with an expansion, which is the a la carte expansion. So it adds food carts at some of the locations. And so Michael and I played that a few times.
Yeah, those are a lot of fun. Those were fun.
It also came with, I forget what it's called, but it basically is asymmetric player abilities. So everybody gets dealt one at the beginning of the game.
They're not going to make a huge shift.
Yeah. They give you, I think, a couple points.
Yeah, basically. So
yeah,
but they're fun.
It just adds a little bit of interest.
Yeah, it's a little bit of interest to the game. It's a lot of fun.
You can play with 1 to 7 players. I did play it solo. You play against what is it called? McDoggles, a fast food chain, and you're trying to be the local hip restaurant that beats the food chain.
Were you the local hip restaurant when you played?
I lost.
Oh. McDoggles won.
They won.
So yeah, that's the one game we played 4 more times.
It's a very good one. I'm excited to play again. I'm excited to try it with our friends. We haven't tried it with them yet.
Yeah, I think they'll have a good time with it. So. Yeah. But wow, it's almost 2 hours.
I know. It's feature length.
Feature length. Well, if you've stuck with this long, thank you very much. We hope you had a good time visiting with us, because we always have a good time visiting with you when we watch. So enjoy the rest of your month of April. We will see you in about a month. Yeah, we'll be back at the beginning of May. We hope that you take care of yourselves, that you spend some time doing things you love with people you love. Yeah, and just try to stay sane in this crazy world. We love you. Remember that we love you, and we will see you soon. Yeah. Bye. Bye.